Hey everyone, welcome back to Play Casket with another episode of Your Turn in the wonderful season of totally not E3 season. Everyone's having their own showcase and event and direct and whatever else they're gonna name it, and they're all still very cringy.
Okay, so with these ones left, Nintendo's doing theirs this week, next week?
They haven't said. In fact, what was funny was last week, after we recorded, literally the rumor of it coming up, even if it's not even, there's nothing, no details or anything. The rumor was like the only thing that I found good that week. Like, oh, that's something I could talk about, but we already recorded, so no. Like, we won't cover rumors unless they're like really juicy. Like there might be some possibilities and what it means and stuff. We're not gonna cover rumors all the time. That's just stupid. Otherwise, would never get shit done.
And today we're also joined by Rusty Bones.
Yeah,
I'm back, baby.
He's finally back. He wanders off, dude. Like, he doesn't fly back like you do. Like, he both of you just fucked off one day, and I had to record about Zelda for a while, and then just like Ghost just comes in. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm here now."
And just show up.
Like, just slides into this mausoleum like it's a DM. But
that's how casual we are.
Yeah, basically,
Cool.
we're very casual. We don't have a strict entertainment regimen apparently. But this week there was quite a few showcases. So we're just probably gonna like minimize it to some of the worst highlights and some of the best highlights for each of us. So collectively, there was Ubisoft, which was cancer. Microsoft, which was sometimes cancer. Capcom, which was absolutely nothing whatsoever. And then Future Game Showcase, which was, if you're not in huge indie scene, cancer. So, yeah, there was quite a few. I will get down to downloading the demo of Liza P, because I did say we're going to try to do something like that, kind of like demo reviews eventually. Mm-hmm. People who've asked about us doing that, I plan on doing that. I just haven't gotten around to it because, you know, I'm around dead people. They don't really move very much. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and start with Rusty since he's back again, and I'm going to have to actually put him to task.
No.
Yeah, so this last week of all the pseudo E3 showcases and stuff, what was one of your worst situations, and what was one of your best situations? Like, what do you think was pretty good or pretty bad?
Well, I didn't actually see, them in full, and sort of had to go through them in a quick manner, but I don't know, something about Pal World kind of bothers me. I don't know, it's just sort of like they're trying to do the two opposite things coming together just for the sake of that. Like Pokemon, like creatures with guns, like, so they just ran with that, and I don't know.
No, what was it? It
mature
was like
Nintendo
it's the mature Nintendo IP thing. Yeah, we talked about that before.
It kind of feels like, hey, you guys like this? This wholesome sort of thing? Well, I'm gonna fucking ruin it.
Everything's better with more violence.
Yeah.
It's like putting pineapple on pizza.
I do that.
Fight.
Try me. I do that. You know what? I still taste stuff, so, you have no taste.
Don't make me bring guns to this Pokemon fight.
That's an awful lot of Pokemon talking in gun range.
Fight, yeah.
But, no, I agree with that. Like, the whole Pal World thing kind of looks weird. I'm still open to trying it. Like, but I want to see more. But I feel like the concept is just one of those, what if Pokemon was more mature?
Yeah.
Well, it would be good if they don't try to be Pokemon. Like, if you make it your own game instead of just being like, look at how not Pokemon we are. It's
you almost the way the characters look, like literally there's a Latias in there. Like we all know where they're going with this. As tongue in cheek as it is. At least Digimon pretends to not really be Pokemon. Digimon, dude. Chemistry even mentioned it. Like a cat evolves into an angel who then evolves into a rabbit with guns.
Yeah.
Like fundamentally, there is a digivolution that can make that happen. Yeah, they don't. They're not pretending to be Pokemon at all. Like, let's be real here.
You know what it is? It's these edgelords who don't want to admit that they really like the concept of Pokemon.
Yeah,
but they don't want to admit it.
I totally agree with that.
I don't play Pokemon. I play Pal World with guns.
You don't understand the real gun. Like, you want to know what's really better than Pokemon? Pal World. I'm like, it's like the same people who came around and like, you want to know what's better than Tears of the Kingdom? Darksiders 3. No. like that's like we know. Okay, so this comes from a Darksiders fan. There's a lot to like about games like that, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be with Pal World. But trying to make that connection like that, because that's what people wanted. They wanted a mature Zelda. They got Darksiders. Nobody wanted Darksiders. They just wanted Zelda to be mature.
Yeah.
I'm like, but Darksiders is awesome.
Mod Nation Racers too. And
oh yeah, Mod Nation Racers. That was a weird one.
They had an ad where it was like, they had like these Nintendo-looking characters, and Mod Nation Racers is so cool.
And it looks like a discount Sackboy.
Yeah, and then
I'm cool.
And then
they look like Funko Pops before Funko Pops. Like that's exactly what they were.
And then Mario Kart just outsells the shit out of them. Like,
it's just. And it is wild to that, but I don't know. Like, hopefully, like I heard a similar track of the train of thought with what is it called? Cassette Beasts. It was kind of like that. They wanted to have a wannabe Pokemon, but then it was like it plays way different and the characters are way different. Like it obviously was just inspired by Pokemon with like the monster collecting, but it's different now, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like hopefully Pal World will probably do the same, but there was like characters like that's awfully close to a Pokemon we know. You know what I mean? Like, is that a shiny? Like, it's just totally. Watch. I'm gonna laugh if they add shinies in their game too. That'd be hilarious. Is there anything you like really is amped about of the collection of showcases that we saw?
Well, I am sort of amped for Starfield, but I'll leave most of that talking to Ghost.
He's just gonna repeat it like it's he's a Pokemon. He's just gonna be like Starfield. He's just gonna do that. It's just gonna happen.
But other than that, Soul of the Samurai caught my eye because I remember a while ago I saw this clip of this kitten. It was like a 2D sort of scene, and looks like you can control the kitten and you're trying to get by this giant monster, and like it caught my eye because it looked kind of like stop motion animation, but then later it turns out it's part of the game Soul of the Samurai, and the gameplay looks like strangely animated that way, which I appreciate. Studios sort of go in a different direction like that, and the gameplay looks fun as well.
Yeah, I could appreciate that. What people could do with the Unreal Engine, it looks ridiculously good.
And I think, honestly, I feel like you can probably do that with multiple different engines too. It's just that a lot of people are kind of trained to believe otherwise.
Oh, they want to do ultra realistic. It's always like
that, and that is a problem. And I feel like that will definitely be a topic we can definitely go down a rabbit hole for another Casca talk eventually. Okay. But I feel like indies, and this is going to be more coming from like a lot of indie scenes and stuff. Indies don't have the budget to just push realism as their go-to mechanic, so they can just go, look how cool my game I have that I bought for my PS5 to showcase my graphical fidelity. These games have to be creative, period.
Yeah.
Right? And for most of them, they're going to have to do styling, or they're going to do some kind of character art that really stands out, or the colors are going to be brighter, or like a cool mechanic that you don't really see very often, you know? So it's stuff like that just makes you go, makes you stand there like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
You know? Because a lot of the AAA developers are no longer stop trying to die again. Okay then. But like a lot of the AAA developers, all of it is just regurgitating the same stuff, and you just pick it out because it has to showcase your $500 expenditure. You know what I mean? And I feel like that stuff like Soul of Samurai, as you were saying, like artistically, I like stuff that stands out like that.
Yeah.
There was a game, and we talked about it before. There's a game called Battle Right that was like a MOBA, but really an arena game that was more about tactics and not even resource management, just tactics and your cooldown awareness and your positioning. It was like the most hardcorest of like gameplay for that type of style of games. And it kind of has like a weird pseudo tribal look to it and stuff, but like a cartoony cell shading, and stood out really good. It looked really crisp and clean, but for the most part, nobody played it because, like right now, most people, even now, people don't really sign on to a lot of indies, which sucks. Like there's going to be games, and I'm going to mention some here later, that have so much promise, but they're going to be like, yeah, but I could just play XYZ instead. You know, that's the part that sucks. But anything else you want to mention about any of the other showcases at all?
Not right now.
All right. Well, how about you, Ghost? What was exciting beyond Starfield?
Okay, first I want to touch upon Path of the Goddess. We'll get that out of the way. Right? I just gotta applaud, like, oh my god, original
Capcom can
IP.
still think of something new. Yay!
It's not Resident Evil. It's not Devil May Cry. Yeah.
Dude, I'm surprised they even go do Mega Man every now and again. Let's be real here.
True.
I'm excited. Like, they're like, even a port of Mega Man, I'm like, well, I'm glad you acknowledge that he exists, dude. Like, let's be real here. At least Sega understands their market still has Sonic. Like, yeah, Sonic sucks, but it's Sonic. And people are like, shit, you right. You know? But, yeah. Path to the Goddess looks pretty interesting.
But yeah, they didn't really show much. It looks like a action puzzle type of game.
Right.
But
there's gonna be more. There's probably gonna be more. But you know what? They did do that Shinsekai or whatever in on the Switch not too long ago too. So
okay,
we can still take that back a little bit further. Capcom can still understand new ideas.
I hope so.
Ain't that right, Namco?
Yeah.
Don't answer for them.
And then Starfield. Oh man, I could go on about Starfield. That game looks so freaking nice. Okay, so the one thing that I'm really excited about is how non-tutorial heavy it's gonna be. I'm pretty sure you'll get into your ship, and then the controls will pop up, and that's it. Because unlike other space simulator games, there's gonna be like a 1 hour and 30-minute tutorial on how to gather resources.
So that does remind me of, there was a space flight game. It's like something 0. I used to have it on Steam. The controls needed a tutorial, and even with the tutorial, you would get so spun around because there's no real
up and down,
up or down or anything. So you know this game I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And like, it is so batshit confusing. Even when you know your control is like, where the fuck am I even going? Like, the only reason why I still played it because the soundtrack was dope. Like, honestly, I'm like, this game is just like lighting up some fire, but I am angry right now. So,
because yeah, playing like No Man's Sky, they make you collect resources for an hour before.
I'm so glad I was like one of the few people who didn't play that game.
Because like, it's not bad, but at the same time, it's like, if you want to do anything, you're gonna have to know it inside out before you can actually start having fun.
Fully understanding what mechanic you're getting into. Yeah.
So at the very least, Starfield, it looks like if you just want to shoot things, you can shoot things. If you want to do the ships, you could do the ships. And just be an asshole and raid people.
Okay, so for me, I don't know. I think E3 has kind of soiled me as far as like expectations of stuff. So even when they're like, "This is live feed," I'm like, "Yeah, but you are currently on a pre-recorded like release of a showcase right now." I feel like we gotta still watch. We gotta see more.
Yeah, I know.
Like I'm on that boat because let's be real, like. We are still critical. We can't just get sitting there and go, that game had the graphics, I am hyped now. Like, we can't do that anymore.
I mean, it is
we've been burned so many times.
It is a Bethesda game. It's not without
it's Bethesda will break that son of a bitch before it even releases.
Yeah.
Like, Todd Howard's just going to, like, headbutt the server intentionally just before it releases. Like, let's be real.
Which I think it's going to be funny, too, because the Sony fanboys are just going to eat that shit up. Where it's like... Oh my god.
Well, that's what a lot of people did for Cyberpunk, too.
I know. Well, it's just like all the sour grapes mentality, too, where it's like, I didn't get a play, but it failed. Or, oh my god, the code didn't work, Bethesda's finished.
Yeah, just like all the body horror glitches that Scarlet and Violet for Pokemon had. Oh man, way to end the Switch then sells 20 million copies. Yep. Oops. And what's bad is like... I'm not even a big fan. Like, Scarlet and Violet was like still an okay game. Mm-hmm. It's just I think the whole reason why it being still an okay game, made people just overlook some of the weird shit that happened.
Yeah,
like
well,
it's still.
Plus, we kind of expect a lot more from Nintendo. I think personally.
Yeah, we do honestly. Like, think about it. Like, even CD Projekt Red has some weird like glitches all the time, especially with like The Witcher and stuff. But we praise The Witcher for being such a good game. Like, dude, do you not remember how it acted the original release?
Yeah.
Yikes, man.
Well, it's kind of nice too that CD Projekt Red kind of has their pulse on their finger on the pulse of the community, because it's kind of like when they mess up, they're like, "Oh, sorry, we'll give you content you actually want." I
don't even think it's like the pulse of the community. I feel like it's just they have a smaller company overall, so the communication be like, "Hey, dude, we actually kind of fucked this up because X, Y, Z," and like, "Oh, can we fix that?" Basically, whereas like in Activision or Blizzard or whatever, it would be like that messenger having to climb up a pyramid to this god that has this like giant golden hat, and he's like a short little man that's like on a very tall chair, and it's like, sir, this thing happened. Can't read it from here. And then they just throw him off the edge, and I don't even like bother reading the complaint.
Yeah,
because it's such a big company.
But
like, I feel like that's the situation.
And then I guess my one disappointment was the Capcom's showcase. It was kind of alright. I mean, the only thing that was kind of cool was Pragmata, but Pragmata, which was also delayed, but at the very least we saw a little bit more on what to expect from the game. Other than that, it's either games that they already announced or games that are out. But it's kind of disappointing though, because it goes to show kind of what E3 is completely useless now, because you could just announce things through the years.
Yeah, well, honestly, I feel like that's a lot more efficient anyway. Like, obviously, it worked really well for Nintendo being one of the only ones that were doing it, right?
Yeah.
Because people were like, the thing was, it was always a race to E3, and everyone was like, I can't wait for E3, man. E3, we're going to see who really owned E3 this year, and when they own E3, somehow we're gonna win this console war. What console war are we talking about? You know, like, it's so ridiculous, right? And for the most part, like, it was all, E3 was already becoming useless before the directs even started happening.
I think it was like the 2000s.
It was like so over glorified, and like the one time where they didn't get the proper venue, they had to get a new venue, and everybody was all confused and lackluster and all that. I feel like really changed how things how people perceived E3. Well, and they're like, why are we even doing this if this is the way it always could have been?
Well, because I remember because it was like during God of War 3, I think, was when they're announcing that it was coming, and then the E3 hit, and it was like their main major event that they were going to reveal God of War 3, but nobody gave a shit because they announced it like 6 months ahead before E3.
Yeah.
So nobody got really excited, and it's like, well, that kind of shows that internet fucking just gets rid of E3, because you could just announce things throughout the years.
Yeah, and even then, like, you still need it. the only thing I still think you still need is some kind of presence, like a presentation, like the showcases and stuff. You need to say, hey, look, and we're going to announce some shit next week. Stay tuned to that. Because there's games things like Hub World. We remember when we talked about Hub World, which was like a whole 3D platform thing, right? It was a direct, basically. We watched it off camera, off recording and all that. Nobody really knew about it because they just announced it, and then next week they released it. But they were not on any like official channels. Nintendo was like, don't forget to watch Hub World. Sony wasn't like that. Microsoft wasn't like that. None of the companies even mentioned it that were in the freaking direct. like nobody knew about it except for the people who were on Hub World. That was it.
Okay.
Like, how are you even supposed to know that? I remember it being announced. I'm like, oh man, I'm excited. And then the day it was released, it released with so little fanfare, I forgot it even started. Like, it was nuts. But that just goes to show you, like, as long as you have a presence, because you can just literally, like, shadow drop an announcement on Twitter, and it could still get, like, even though you might have millions of followers, it would still not get the reach that it needs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, so, considering that...
What were you looking forward to?
What am I looking forward to, after all talking all about this? So, I'll start with what I was disappointed with at first. Ubisoft. Because it was cancer. I expected disappointment, and I was still disappointed. like I still hurt. Almost all of Ubisoft was just absolutely trash.
What we expected? Just Dance? Just Sing?
Yeah, basically I was expecting Just Dance. I was like at least expecting meme cringe like announcers and stuff. Didn't even really have that. It just had all those like pseudo inspirational future. We're thinking progressively like talk and crap. Like don't care, right? Literally everything was boring. Even their Prince of Persia is like, it's coming to Switch. But you're like, oh, everyone's supposed to be excited. His hair looks stupid. It's a 3D side-scrolling Prince of Persia Metroidvania.
Is it more hairstyle?
It's a horrible hairstyle. It's one of those. I have all my stuff. It looks like one of those Black Panther hairstyles, where it's like shaved on the sides of the head, but then the tuft on the hair just like goes to one side because apparently it's always windy in Africa or something like that.
Excuse me, that's not period accurate.
Yeah,
Zoomer hairstyle.
It's a Zoomer hairstyle for like BC, Gen ZZ. But yeah, no, it was just bad. I had to watch it. I sat there and I was like, this hurts. But I do it for all 12 of you, and maybe some of the extra viewers out there. I do it for you guys too. I saw how you guys watched like 67 views on our last episode. Yeah, we're growing, boys. We're growing. But yeah, there's that. But good stuff. The good stuff, and I feel I'm probably the only one at this slated table here that is like always excited for indies. Now there might be some indies, a couple of you guys might be really into and such, but I'm like, indies are my jam. I love indies. I don't know, and again, I've said why. It's like their creativity. They have to be creative in order to stand out. And because of that, some of the experiences are like a lot different than what you would just expect from your traditional like AAA developers regurgitating that same idea, right? And like just like Lords of the Fallen, which was clunky Souls. They're apparently making or remaking. I don't know what they're talking about. They basically just called it Lords of the Fallen again, and it's a entirely different game, and kind of has a weird blasphemous vibe to it too.
Oh, it looks awesome.
I don't know. Like it looks flashy.
Yeah,
it definitely looks flashy. I'm all about that game as far as the way it looks. I'm probably gonna need some more impressions before I want to like sign off on that.
Yeah. One
of my favorite things that did come out of that, but I'm still gonna watch. Obviously, it's the same premise on this. Like almost a lot of them are like, I'm gonna probably have to watch some more. There was a, it looks like a car combat, and they even described it as a narrative combat car RPG. Like it's an RPG that's supposedly in car combat. Supposedly.
Okay.
Supposedly.
Seems interesting.
And Jake's right. I'm like, this is a weird concept. They didn't really break down all the concept in the video or any of their like screenshots or anything that they announced. So I'm hoping to see more as to how that became an RPG. But for now, I like the concept. The character art looks alright. Like, it's not bad. It's very bright and vibrant. The animations are pretty smooth. But for the most part, you know, it's just, I'm excited about that, like, that concept. I would like to know what that's going to lead up to in the future and stuff. But I only got a little bits of it. Hopefully there's some kind of demo for it later and all that. So, yeah. For the most part, I think the future games out of this week was like the winner. Because it had the biggest amount of games and like a wider variety. Like Your Soul, The Samurai, Lords of the Fallen, Resistor was the game that I was talking about just now. That was like, there was a lot of stuff that came out of that system compared to the Xbox One, compared to the Capcom and Ubi ones and stuff too. So, is there anything else we would like to put on the end of this? Yay? Nay?
No Monster Hunter.
No Monster Hunter.
I forgot about that too.
Did you want to add another Starfield into that a couple times?
Starfield.
Alright, there we go. Now we got that out of the way.
Hashtag Starfield.
But what about Starfield?
What, about Starfield?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about Starfield.
It's made by Todd Howard.
Oh, wow. Todd Howard developed it with the guys at the studio that Todd Howard works with.
They also created Fallout 76, right?
Ew. Anyway,
I
like
hope
to thank
the DLC is it, or the special edition.
oh my god.
Don't forget, guys.
A digital deluxe. Anyway, I'd like to sign off on with you guys. Thank you guys for listening to everything we had to say about this. If you like our content, always feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, we will see you on the other side. Hey everyone, this is Paraka.
And Ghost.
I would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast.
If you like our content, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and share our video with your friends.
You can also follow and support us on other social media such as Minds and Rumble. Links in the description below.